Nearly there now, eh? Choose a life, not a knife. Powerful, mate. Powerful as choose a life, not a knife. I'll put choose a life, not a knife down, and I'll put it into the spiritual context, mate. That's what choose a life, not a knife. It's the spiritual aspect of everything you're doing, which is going to prevent you picking that knife up, which is going to prevent you getting in crime. You know, it's not really an advertisement type message, is it? It's not really on billboards or police shouting about it or council shouting about it. It's more of a spiritual aspect, isn't it? And that's where I firmly believe it belongs. You know, it's a belief, it's a way of thinking. You know, if I can influence your mind to think in a certain way of, it's not hard to carry that knife. You going out that door carrying a knife thinking you're protecting yourself is thinking wrong. I don't mean cult wise, because it's not my cult. Yeah, I'm screaming and shouting about it, but so can you. And so can he, and so can she, so can they. You know, I can't start objecting to you shouting choose a life, not a knife, United Kingdom. It's not that type of message. It's not owned. I'm not the sole owner of this message. It's there for you to use to your own advantage. Obviously, my story's there. Use my story. If I can do it, you can definitely do it. If I can get through all this, then you can definitely get through all your bullshit. If I can pick a young man off the floor covered in blood and his chest full of bullets, you can. If Jesus Christ can march to his death with a cross strapped to his back, you can. Believe in yourself, lad. If you don't like that little gang you're mixing with, leave it. Don't be scared. So what, you'll be alone. You won't have nothing to do with this group. That group's not worth wasting 10 years on. You'll have 1 or 2 kids in there you die for, and they're not going to be around in 5 or 10 years. Why? Because the good ones get took first. The good ones get took first, mate. That's a fact as well, mate. Well, it's not a big fact, because you've got loads of decent people that survive. But what I'm saying is, you get loads of proper, top, decent lads who get shot dead before they're the age of 25. Not even shot dead these days, it's stabbed to death, isn't it? You're getting loads of decent kids killed beforehand now, you know, it's before they're 18 these days, isn't it? But then you get the kids that have gone through that 10 years of dodging knife blades, because that's what you've got. You've got 10 years to get your A grades, and then you've got 10 years dodging knife blades. Do you understand what I mean by that? As a young man, if you're still in school, you've got a little 10 years to get your A grades, haven't you? You know, your whole school period is about 10 years long, isn't it? And then when you drop out of school at 16, or if you finish school at 16 and don't go for further education, well, then you've got till the age of 26, haven't you, where you're dodging knife blades. 16 to 26, if you're in that little madness, you're dodging knife blades for a good decade, aren't you? And then when you get to 26, 27, 28, you start maturing, start dropping onto the money page. It's all wrong, obviously. It's all going to come back and bite you on the shoulders. A lot of kids, when they reach that 26, as I say, some are already dead, but some are sitting off. Some are on remand, looking mandatory 30 recs. Some are already doing mandatory 30 recs. Some are on the toes, so they don't get the mandatory 30 recs. And when I'm sat here talking about all these kids, young lads, young boys, uncles, dads, brothers, granddads, fathers, off our estates, our own people, all doing 25 years mandatories, 30s, 35, some doing 40s now. I just encourage you to think what you're doing. Because all them lads, like you hear of doing 20 years recommendations, 30 years recommendations, 28s, 35s, 18s, 19s, all them started where you was. Little phone, making a little bit of dough, branching out a little bit. People have a problem with you branching out a little bit. Start stepping on your toes. Now you've got to defend yourself, otherwise you get the piss took out of you. Tit tat, bang bang, dead. Life's off, jail. It happens to all of us. All of us. There's not one group that survives here. You can't name one single notorious group that have not been f***ed up off that life. There's not one. You might have a few that still exist and the name's still penetrating the criminal underworld a little bit and all that, but they have been through the life, spent over a decade in prison, had 3 or 4 different births through the life, all that bullshit. Do you understand what I mean? There's just no need to live like that. There's just no need to be like that. Yes, mate, the money, you've got to feed, yeah, but some of you tap in for the money to feed your kids, and then you stay in it to feed your own little ways. It's not about feeding your kids no more. It's about you and your bird looking better for Christmas. It's just a mindset where if you don't start understanding the damage to the children and the future generations in your city, everything that you've grew up knowing's gonna be gone. Yes, Jojo, will be well there. Susan came. So it's like when in the 80s, let's just say hypothetically speaking, do you know what that means? I'm just chatting. So in the 80s, right, heroin just came on the scene. You had 10 heroin addicts. Say in 1980, heroin came on the scene. You had 5 heroin addicts. It's now 1983. You've now got 15. It's now 1990 and you've got 50. It's now the year 2000. Do you get what I'm saying to you? And you've got 2,000 of them. Not going to stop, is it? It's not going to stop, is it? That flow's not going to stop. All you can stop is the people that's getting on the flow. And that's there. That's there for life now. It's not going to disappear. That path of addiction is open to anyone that wants to go on it. It's never ever going to disappear now. You can't stop it. You can't disintegrate it. You can't fill it full of potholes to make the path more difficult to go down. It's there. The minute they stand on it, they're on it. They're addicted and they're gone for years. You can stop the kids getting on it if you want. Not many people want to, do they? So you might be able to stop the flow, but you can stop the number and you can stop and prevent the amount of numbers that's getting on that flow. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's like you can't stop the gang culture within your city. You can't stop it. It's there. It's there for life now. But you can prevent more people getting on the path. You can reduce the numbers. You can reduce the trauma. You can reduce the negative ripple effect upon your communities if there's less numbers participating in it. You're always going to have that badness trying to convince the goodness to become bad. You're always going to have that in society. But it's up to the goodness to keep on persuading the young good lads not to become bad. Doesn't matter what them dirty girls like. If they like bad boys, let them go and get a bad boy. You know, you stay a good kid. Just because you're good doesn't mean you're weak. Just because you're good doesn't mean you haven't got a brain on you. Just because you're good doesn't mean you can't get an A5 bird on your arm when you want it. You know, see, there's some girls being raised within our cities now by dads that are raising girls still. Do you understand what I mean? There's proper, decent young girls being raised right now. And that's preventing the flow of the generations under them from being slappers, being coke-whores, being plastic and fake and disgusting. So there's loads of fathers like me who understand how important it is to keep the femininity within the girls of the future. Bossway trolls just give themselves away, aren't it? Have you been watching the comments of these people? They're funny, aren't they? Little strange, weird cats. So everyone's buzzing about this ceasefire, people, aren't they? So am I. Why am I buzzing? Because there's no more women and children being killed. Got 6 weeks ceasefire. And then hopefully, if everything goes to plan, obviously it is what it is. You're going to get all the current diplomatic people taking responsibility for the ceasefire. If there is any good responsibility there, they created it. But what you've just seen with Gaza and Israel and places like this is the Trump effect. That's why that's happened, because of Donald Trump. When Donald Trump has been screaming for the last month to Hamas, if you don't release these hostages by the 20th of January, my inauguration, all hell will break loose. And this is what you're witnessing. And that's a good sign. It's a good sign. Got these dickheads listening. That Trump has got all these dickheads listening around the world now. And you will see in the next month or two the Russian and Ukraine war stop. You'll see that. You will see all the bullshit that's going on in this country with this Starmer stop. All these facts that's destroying us will go back into the shadows while he's in power. And while they're in the shadows, they'll be working for the next 5 years on how to get him out of power and his people. Yes, Jojo, hope you well there. How are you, right, Johnny? Are you cool? Ignore the trolls, people that craving attention. Liam, Scaldy, Stephen. Remember Dallas years ago, mate? Dallas, mate. That was like the Bush family, weren't it? How are you, Tommy? You good, lad? Oh, we know why the trolls are in. Because I've took a little 100 of their views. Human, aren't you? Can't be arsed with all them people that are living 2 years ago and that. Still mentioning names from 2 years ago and that. You know what I mean? I'm moving along, peeps. You stay where you are. You're always going to be fake. You're not going where I'm going. You just stay there. Keep on running your mouth off about me. Send people my way. Tell people to come and listen to Choose a Life, Not a Knife. How are you, Ryan? Are you cool? Choose a life, not a knife, United Kingdom. Tap into it, last. Have a little think about what you're doing with your life. Go and look at most of the content, you'll see me, and look what I'm screaming about, and why am I screaming it. How are you, Pobby, lad? Nice one, Marie. What's the picture on the wall, mate? Which one, lad? Hello, hello. Yes, Shell. Let's meet a few weirdos. Liam Simonson, what are you chatting about, lad? Tagging people and that? Let's have a look at you. Follow me on YouTube and Instagram. Oh, you one of them? Clickbaiting rat. Let's get rid. Matty, I'm not asked about your follows and that, mate. I'll just get rid of yous. Yes, night talk. Thanks, mate. Steve-O saying Team G. Not really, that. Don't see me, a kid. Luke Green. How can we stop drugs and crime in our communities? By encouraging people not to take them. And not selling them. I'd rather have a thief than a drug dealer in my town. Mama T, how are you? I'd rather have a street of armed robbers than a street of drug dealers. Any day of the week, mate. Yes, Michelle? Jack? Bill? Mate, I have some very interesting theories. If you could let me join you. No. I'm not asked about your theories, lad. It's my platform, my theories. Get your own going, lad. Get your own audience. Yes, James. Dylan. You're late, lad. How come you're late, mate? Well, you're not late for me, are you? I'm not normally on, so... How are you, Michelle Goddard? Hope you're well. Sky Kane, Logan. His 20th birthday. Dylan, spelt late wrong. Salah, Ben. Do you go live daily on X? No, I went live 3 times on there, but it's weird. But this finishes in America on the 19th, doesn't it? I'm sorry, Michelle, mate. Doesn't it, Ben? What are all they going to do? Jump onto Instagram, Facebook and that? That's what you just want to do. You know, you've got to... There's a possibility that the UK won't follow suit, but there's a strong possibility that they may. Especially with Starmer in. You know, as soon as Starmer goes out, Conservatives will ban TikTok and say it's been getting used for spying. Not surprised with Starmer and co. But as I say, you should be tapping on, if you're into these social media platforms and you think that TikTok's at risk in this country, start building your Instagrams now. Sending your people off your TikTok to your Instagram page. I wouldn't really go near that X. That X is it's designed to full Z's up X. So be careful when you go on there. You can go on that X and you're just seeing particular shit that's fun with your mind, mate. And it's like it's purposely doing it. Yeah, it's done it. So I'd definitely stay away from... It's alright to go on there if you want to just get lost in a mess, but I wouldn't do that if I was you. So if you're going to focus on anything, I'd focus on, you know, the good old ones. Facebook, Instagram. I'm not focused on them, but I've still got them. I think I've got like 56,000 on my Instagram, and I just drop a post every so often and drop a story every day, but most of my story on Instagram is what I watch on TikTok. I'll just send it to my story. But even now I shouldn't be on this late. You know, go to the gym early mornings, come back from the gym early mornings, get straight on my book. Started writing my book.